Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Parkrose Community United Church of Christ. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father Figures Day. Happy Pride Sunday. We got a lot to celebrate today. We're glad you're here, and as we say every Sunday, we offer our respects here to the ancestors and descendants of the original people of this land. We invoke their presence and we welcome everyone here today. As we say every Sunday, whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Invite you to stand as you're able and join in our opening songs. The one that we didn't get to sing last Sunday, we're going to open with today. Blessed Assurance. This is my story. This is my song.
I was there.
I rejoice the day you were baptized to see your life unfold. I invite you to take a moment and greet those who are near. Laughter is praise too, you know. Let's join in a time of prayer beginning with the centering song, Spirit of the Living God. And if you know the harmony, sing the harmony. Pray together in one voice. God of mystery and imagination, come to us in this moment. As we honor father figures in our lives, we also struggle with male symbols which focus on power and strength. Help us to foster a new vision of care and respect as we help our children grow. Give us the courage to stand up to bullies who shame others, and make us bridges to new relationships which can build up rather Fill us with your creative spirit so we can say yes to one another with acceptance and love. Lead us in the silence. We respond together. We give thanks for the father figures in our lives and promise to actively live out your call to love and justice. thank you for that. For everybody that gave pictures and for the group that put them together. Our sweetness for the soul. Appreciate that. All right, I think we're ready to invite the young ones forward. I don't know if we have any, but we're going to do it anyway, right, Emily? So let's sing our song, welcoming all the young ones. Oh, there is one. This is where children belong. Welcome this part of the worship we come. Water, God's word, bread, and the prayer song. This is where children belong.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, as well. Today, I'm going to talk to you about secrets and codes.
Okay.
But they're going to be cute secrets and codes because we're talking about the language of flowers.
Okay.
Back in the day, way before my time, people used to communicate to each other through flowers. They'd say, oh, I'm going to send you this flower for care, or this flower for I love you, or this flower for you're beautiful.
Okay.
And so it was a secret way, but that was shared for people to show they care. And I think it's wonderful how many ways we have to show people that we care for them
Yes.
and that they're welcome and loved. And so I bought yellow roses, which are
Yellow.
right? Yellow roses are
With the
the
yellow roses.
because those are the roses that mean friendship. Just like feverfew over there, the little white flowers, means protection from bad moods. Carnations mean woman, that's why we give them to mothers. And so I'm giving you a yellow rose because I hope
you.
our friends.
Yes, always.
Yay. And I'm so, just wanted to take a moment to say I'm so glad that I get to be friends with all of you guys as well.
Well,
We love you.
we want you to have a yellow rose.
And you want to?
Everyone.
I actually don't have a place to hold it, so
The
I'll
vase
leave
will
it there.
hold it
The
in time.
vase will.
Okay.
So let's pray. Gracious God, we are thankful for the opportunities we have to share with each other, to share in love and friendship. We ask you to be with all those who are fathers, those who are father figures, and all of us who are children, in your many beautiful names. Amen. All right. Sing our song as some of us don't go to class.
Can I go to the parade?
Yes. This is where children belong. Welcome this part of the worship we come. Water, God's word, bread, and the prayer and song. This is where children belong. Our Now Testament for this morning is, well, it's more contemporary than the Bible, but Rumi was, I think, 13th century Afghani. Rumi is the Sufi poet who puts words together in amazing ways. And I thought this poem was particularly good for today. The way wings should. What will our children do in the morning? Will they wake with their hearts wanting to play the way wings should? Will they have dreamed the needed flights and gathered the strength from the planets that all men and women need to balance the wonderful charms of the earth, so that her power and beauty does not make us forget our own? I know all about the ways of the heart, how it wants to be alive. Love so needs to love that it will endure almost anything, even abuse, just to flicker for a moment. But the sky's mouth is kind. Its song will never hurt you, for I sing these words. What will our children do in the morning if they do not see us fly? Please remain seated as we sing our next song, Open My Eyes. Open my eyes, Lord, help me to see your face. Open my eyes, Lord, help me to see. Open my ears, Lord, help me to hear your voice. Open my ears, Lord, help me to hear. Open my heart, Lord, help me to love like you. Open my heart, Lord, help me to love. I live within you, deep in your heart, oh God. I live within you, rest now in me. Invite Flo to bring us our morning reading from Revelation.
This morning's message is from Revelations, chapter 4, verses 1 through 11, and it's from the Inclusive Bible. Here is an amazing description, filled with code symbol. After this, I saw a door standing open above me in heaven, and I heard the trumpet, like a voice which had spoken to me before. It said, "Come up here, and I will show you what must take place in the time to come." Immediately, I was caught up in the Spirit. A throne was standing there in heaven, and on the throne was seated one who looked like jasper and carnelian. Around the throne was a halo the color of emerald. Surrounding the throne were 24 other thrones, upon which were seated 24 elders. They were clothed in white garments and had gold crowns on their heads. From the throne came flashes of lightning and peals of thunder. Before it burned 7 flaming torches, the 7 spirits of God. The floor around the throne was like a sea of glass that shone as crystal. At the very center, around the throne itself, stood 4 living creatures. They were covered with eyes, front and back. The first creature resembled a lion, the second an ox. The third had a human face, while the fourth looked like an eagle in flight. Each of the 4 living creatures had 6 wings and eyes all over, inside and out. Day and night, without pause, they sing, "Holy, holy, holy is our God Almighty, who was, who is, and who is to come." Whenever these creatures give glory and honor and praise to the one seated on the throne, who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down and worship the one seated on the throne, who lives forever and ever. They throw down their crowns before the throne and sing, "O God Most High, you are worthy to receive glory and honor and power. For you have created all things. By your will they came to be and were made."
Amen.
Thank you, Flo. Kind of amazing, isn't it? But what does it mean? Well, I don't guarantee that you're going to walk out of this room knowing exactly what it means, but hopefully we'll demystify it a little bit so you're willing to search for meaning there. This is the second in our 7-week series on the lenses of Revelation, where we look at this last book of our Bible and try to understand what it's about. It has been used as a tool to keep us under the thumb of religious leaders for centuries. So it's interesting that the purpose of Revelation was to give people the strength, the courage, and the faith to live even in times of oppression. Our study, as we study this in Bible study as well, has really opened up for me lots of new ways of thinking about Revelation. It's long been one of my favorite books of the Bible. And I know you all think I'm weird, but hopefully after the 7 weeks we'll have some better understanding about this book. Symbolism. Symbolism is huge in the book of Revelation. Now, as you look at me today, what are the symbols you see on me? The collar. What does that mean? It means I'm the pastor. Okay. The belt. What does that mean? Holds my pants up. We can always count on Darlene to keep us on. Well, this one is a rainbow, and it's the colors of the rainbow flag, which has come to be a symbol for the LGBTQ and all the other letters movement, for freedom for people who are sexual minorities. So the original flag, red stood for life, orange stood for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for art, and purple for spirit. So it's not just a rainbow, it has meaning. What's the comma stand for? I got this wrong before church, so. Never put a period where God has placed a comma, because God is still speaking. And it's become the mantra for those of us in the United Church of Christ. So we listen for God in many different ways. Now, we have other symbols. We have a cross. Churches mostly have crosses, which stands for, our cross is empty, so it stands for the resurrected Christ, one who died and rose again. The dove. What's the dove?
Peace.
Peace and spirit. The spirit came down in the shape of a dove. So there's symbols everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. In your daily life, if you start paying attention to what things actually stand for something else, that's what a symbol is. It gives us a pointer to something else. Think about that as you go through the week. What are all the symbolic things that you see in your life? Now remember that the title of the book of Revelation, and it's singular, Revelation, comes from the Greek word apocalypsis, which means to uncover, to unveil, to reveal. So the book of Revelation is not about the end of the world, it's about revealing. It's about finding clarity. It's about peeling back the layers of the onion so you can find what's at the center. Here's the throne room. When you, if you look in Google image for Revelation, most of what you find is what we now call apocalyptic, which I think is a misnomer. It's end of the world stuff. And apocalypse means getting clarification, not at the end of the world. But this picture, if you do specific verses, you come up with pictures. And this is one of the throne room. So you can't see God because it's so bright. There's so much, all the jewels, the ruby, carnelian, the emerald glow around. The 24 elders in the thrones around the bottom, all of the people around. And in the front are the 4 creatures. The 4 creatures. So What is it about all of these numbers? In both Greek and Hebrew, there are not separate characters for numbers. Did you know that? I didn't. And in a system called gematria, the numbers are assigned the first letter of the Greek alphabet, or in this case the Hebrew alphabet, is 1, the second letter is 2, and so on. So this chart shows you which letters mean which numbers. And remember that, because it creates a correlation between numbers and letters, which will become more important in a minute. So we've got this system of numbers that correlate to letters. We also have special meaning for numbers. Numbers are symbolic to the people of the time of Revelation that was written by John of Patmos. 3 symbolizes spiritual wholeness. Holy, holy, holy. Who was, who is to be. Full of wisdom, power, and might. Though all those things attributed to God came in 3s. So that's a spiritual wholeness. 4 is a physical wholeness. How many directions are there? 4. How many elements are there? 4. 4 is a symbol of physical or human wholeness or earthly wholeness. And when you put the two of them together, 7, it's a completion. So it's this coming together of spiritual and physical into one. And you'll notice in the Bible, the reference to 7 is common from the beginning of the Hebrew Bible all the way through. You've heard of the practice in ancient times that every 7th year you leave your field fallow. Also, every 7 years there's a general forgiveness of debt. And every 49 years, which is 7 times 7, is a jubilee. So 7, these numbers have special meanings. There are 7 days in a week. 12 is a number for fullness. We have 12 apostles. And note that when Judas betrayed Jesus and left, they found another one right away because they needed 12 to be full, to be together. 12 tribes of Israel. In the Sumerian times, which are early, before the time of Christ, but right up before him, 12 was also a major number. 12 months. We get our 12 months from the Sumerian. So all these numbers have meaning and value. Now the number that trips us up a lot in Revelation is 144,000. And these are the saved. A few years ago, somebody made hay on this and called it the Left Behind series. So that the thought was only 144,000 will go to heaven, and the rest of us will be left behind. Has anybody seen? It's a horrible movie called Left Behind. It's just, the acting's terrible. But there's this hilarious scene where a woman is in the plane with her husband, and she falls asleep, and when she wakes up, the only thing that's left in his seat is his clothes and his glasses. Because he got saved and she didn't. This is ludicrous, my friends. It's ludicrous. And if you know gematria, you can understand that this isn't an exact number. It's a symbol, 144,000, 12 times 12. Fullness times 1,000. I think that means inclusiveness. It's, y'all come. And so,
The other numbers, were all the numbers given a...
they don't all have meaning, but we're going to find out about another one in just a minute. And I can't, the reason Revelation is not in the lectionary is because it's so hard to explain everything and kind of get it all out there. That's why we're taking 7 weeks to do it, so stay tuned. We'll get more. But the other number that's important